Hello and welcome. Carrie here from Healing Humanity, Power of a Proper Human Diet. Today I'm thankful, grateful, blessed. We're doing our Carnivore Q&A Thursday night live. We're going to be doing some giveaways. We're going to be answering your questions. And tonight we have Adam Lacey from Carnivore Today. How's it going, Adam?
Hello, fantastic. How's everybody?
Good, good, good. Ashley from Carnivore Brothers.
Hey.
And Lynn, Midlife Carnivore. How's it going?
Great.
Awesome. And I think Dr. Nelson's going to be joining us as well. He was just on here. He'll probably pop in a second. We're going to be doing a couple giveaways tonight. We're looking for your best question in order to win. And the first giveaway we're going to be doing is for a Healing Humanity shirt. Post your best question with hashtag ribeye. It has to be a question. Hashtag ribeye, and we'll send you a Healing Humanity shirt in blue. We're going to do a random drawing of those comments. So you got to make sure to do hashtag ribeye. And let's see, I think we got Dr. Nelson is here. Welcome, Dr. Nelson. How's it going?
You're muted.
Dr. Nelson's working on unmuting.
Carry on.
There we go. We'll carry on. So hashtag ribeye with your best question. And before we jump into the questions, Ashley, do we have any announcements?
Oh, yeah, we got a few, I guess. Yes. So
I think I got it.
You got it.
You're on. We've got actually this weekend, for those who are in the DFW, Texas area or willing to drive on down, we've got a little meetup. I'm kind of getting excited about this one. Chris Brandlin's going to ride a bull in the rodeo. But before we do that, we're getting together at a barbecue place, Cooper's Barbecue. Just going to hang out, have some fun, eat a meal together, swap some stories, meet some fellow carnivores. It's going to be a good time. A little small meetup, but if you're in the area, make sure you register to come visit. And then after that, we're getting closer to Hack Your Health. Yeah. Big Hack Your Health event coming up in November. I know a lot of people watching the stream are probably planning to go. So I hope they'll come by. We're going to the Healing Humanity team is going to have a booth. I hope you'll come by and visit our booth, come see us. And then if you're able to join us for the Healing Humanity dinner that's on the screen now, that will be a fundraising dinner for Healing Humanity documentary. So we hope that many people will attend that. There's going to be some incredible people, incredible carnivores, incredible influencers that are there. I personally have never met Kelly Hogan. I'm super excited about meeting her. There's a lot of others that are going to be really excited to be there.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We have a link in the description below for all of the upcoming events. And one other one, too, I wanted to mention real quick is Meat Stock 2026, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, May 2nd and 3rd. You can get $50 off if you use code Healing Humanity. Looking forward to that. And the last announcement before we jump into your questions is, I'm super excited for this. We are putting together a book, a Healing Humanity book that is going to be full of thousands of testimonies of healing. And we're always looking for more stories for the book. You got to hurry because we're wrapping the book up soon. We're also looking for stories for our Healing Humanity series of episodes. So if you go to healinghumanity.movie, there's a form there. You can quickly fill it out and share your story of healing for the book or for the series. And you can also watch our trailer there. You can purchase our merchandise, all of that. You can sign up for our free email newsletter as well at healinghumanity.movie.
Can I say one more? Can I add one more? Because we're not officially announcing it yet, but just for those who are our California folks who've been wanting a meetup in California for a long time, I'm working on plans for a January date to be in California, Southern California, San Diego specifically. So kind of tentatively mark that on your calendar. More information to come very soon.
Love it. And for those, a bunch of people jumped on since we started. We're looking for your best questions with hashtag ribeye. Post a QQQ and we will answer your question. We're going to give away a Healing Humanity shirt in just a little bit. Our first question tonight is from Sally Burton. Sally asks, do you all take electrolytes and what brands? Love you all, inspiring. Adam, you take any electrolytes?
I don't take any actual products, but I do. I will use Soleil water. So actually, I portion them out. See if I can grab one of these real quick. Of course, I'd get one that's empty, right? So I actually make them and put them in these little vials that I got on Amazon. And
Wow.
it's like basically a double portion for the day. And these seal up really well. And I bring these with me when I'm traveling on the road and stuff. Obviously not flying because I don't want you to have liquid, but so Soleil water, that's what I take, nothing else.
Good idea. Good idea.
What about you, Lynn?
Yeah, I do Soleil water, although I just made it a new batch, so I haven't been doing it for a little while. I tend to rotate electrolytes. Sometimes I take them and sometimes I don't. I have used Element. We definitely have Element in the house. I have been enjoying the Salty brand that we met at the Low Carb for Better Health. I've been using theirs as well. And, but I have to be very honest. I don't use the raw. I do use the ones that are flavored, which I know are not as ideal. But that's what I've been using. And sometimes I'll put one of the chocolate elements in coffee and with butter and put in my magic bullet and make a latte or something like that. So, but I also even just have Redmond salt. My daughter always teases me because I'll take the big rock of salt and I'll just lick on it. So sometimes that's all I do is lick on salt.
You mentioned we met the Salty people there at Low Carb for Better Health. I picked this one up. This was a newer one that they've come out with, and I wanted that because personally, I've just been wanting to add a few more things just to see. I've not taken, besides when I first transitioned to carnivore, I really haven't done anything but just extra salt on my food. But this one had some extra things in it. I think it was some copper, some zinc, some a few different things that were in it, and it was a new one that Dr. Berry had worked on with them called Minerals. And so I picked up one of these and I've been using that for since we got back from Low Carb for Better Health, just to see if that makes a little bit of a difference. I don't know.
Nice. I took a little bit of Element when I first started, but I don't really use electrolytes. We got a free sample from Richard Smith, Keto Pro. And it was a big container of electrolytes, and those were wonderful. My daughter Emma actually went through almost all of them. We ended up reordering some of them, but I don't find the need. On carnivore, I feel pretty good. And in my head, I always say if I get dizzy or have muscle aches, then I'll take some more electrolytes. And that really hasn't happened. So I don't really take too many myself.
Yeah.
All right. We have a question for Dr. Nelson from Paul. Paul Clark says, Dr. Nelson, how much weight did you lose during your 20-day fast and how much came back on? Oh, you're muted.
See, I'm trying to keep quiet, but I think I lost more than 17 and all of it came back.
Yeah. Is that pretty usual though, if you lose a lot of weight during a fast?
Most people will regain most of the weight that they lost on a prolonged fast. I particularly did it because I've been open with this. I'm always chasing my blood sugars, trying to keep them normal, right? And that is the best way to help control. I do not suggest that anybody does prolonged fasting just because it's not a blood sport. It's not
they want to go longer than their boss.
Yes, I just wanted to do it longer than Dr. Kilt. but so
do as I do, not do as I say, not as I do.
I do believe that some intermittent fasting, and when I talk about intermittent fasting, I'm not talking about 16 hours, 24. That's just time restrictive eating. If you're going to fast, you probably need to be fasting, not eating anything for at least 36 hours before you really call it a fast. But a 1 day a week of skipping meals or 2 or 3 days, that's probably enough to help you with the autophagy, mitophagy, increasing in some hormones. Can you do prolonged fasting? Well, there are people who do it regularly. When I say regularly, I know, I don't know if she's here, but someone from the Kilt's Mighty Tribe who also is here frequently, she does once a year, 40 days. So I'm not saying don't do it or don't ever do it, but I think doing it like a 1 day a week fasting or 2 days a week or 3 day a month on a regular basis is probably in the long run gonna be very helpful to decrease insulin levels, promote autophagy, mitophagy, growth hormone increases, and all the good things. Don't do it to be a martyr. If I have planned to do fasting sometimes, today I'm not going to eat, and in the afternoon I get very hungry, or if I get a little headache, well, my body wasn't ready that day, I'll eat. I'm not going to suffer through it. If you do more than 3 days, usually the first couple of days is when you get maybe a little bit hungry, but after 3 days, and I know Carrie has done at least a week. Was it hard the last few days?
Yeah, the longest I did was 8 days. And
Okay.
on day 8, it was hard, but it's tricky, right? Because this was my theory, Dr. Nelson. It was hard because I had anticipated for 8 days that I was going to quit on day 8. I really feel like if I anticipated going for 10 days, day 8 wasn't hard. I felt really good on day 8. So it's a weird thing.
Isn't that funny? It seems like it's a total mind game, right? Like if you say I'm going to do a 5-day fast, by day 4.5, you're like, all right, I can't do it anymore, and I can't wait to eat. But if you said day 8, you're gonna keep going. I don't know.
I'll tell you something. Just not having to think about what am I gonna cook today, even if you once a day. I mean, it is freeing. Anyways.
7 Seas Transport asks, my first urination every morning seems foamy. Does that seem normal? Carnivore for 14 months.
Dr. Nelson.
Okay.
I don't know anything about that.
Foamy urine.
I don't know if it's indicative of anything, but personally, I wouldn't worry about it.
It could be indicative of some protein in the urine, and you don't want to have excessive amounts of proteins. We do discard some in the urine, but that's one of the things I would check. I don't know if people with diabetes but if you've been carnivore for how long does it say? 14 months? I doubted that is a problem. You can check your urine analysis. You can go to the big supermarket stores and the pharmacies, and you can find urine analysis strips, the same that the doctors use in the office, and check to see if there's anything in the urine to be concerned about.
Yeah. Is there a difference between foamy and just bubbles? Like if somebody, their first urination of the day, they just have a really full bladder and they just are urinating so fast it creates bubbles?
Are you asking me or are you asking
I'm asking
the
you.
person?
You're the doctor.
Okay. I don't know if it would be. When we do urines, we ask for a first morning urine because everything is more concentrated. You've been
right.
You've been secreting urine. Your kidneys continue to produce urine even when you're asleep. That's why your bladder is full usually when you get up.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the reasons of doing some of these urine tests first thing in the morning, because it's more concentrated. It includes everything that could be in the urine, including protein. Now, I'm not saying it's because of protein, but it's one of the things you want to check, because excessive protein in the urine is not a good sign and it would need more investigating.
All right. A question from Stacy. Hashtag ribeye with your best question. We're giving away Healing Humanity shirt shortly. I'm 35 days carnivore. 2 days ago, I started having severe stomach pains. I eat beef, salt, bacon, and salt, cooking fat and butter. I also drink Redmond electrolytes. Help, please.
I can help with this one possibly. So you mentioned salt twice and electrolytes. That's even more salt. So I would definitely start there and dial the salt way back. I went a year having really bad stomach pains and indigestion. and it was the salt. So at least my personal experience, that's where I would start and look. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'd say try that first. Don't try more than one thing at a time, obviously, because then you're not going to know what helps, but try that first. And if that doesn't relieve it, you go lion diet and see how that does. You may have to, unfortunately, have to cut out the bacon and the eggs. But it could be a histamine issue. If you're not used to eating this much bacon, eggs, other, if your meat is aged or smoked, or it may be a histamine issue. So if the salt decree doesn't work, try lion diet and see if that helps.
And you might want to decrease a little bit on the fat. I mean, it's supposed to be a low carb, high fat diet, but you're only 35 days, did you say? So take it easy on the fat. See if you can correlate eating fat and the pain. Maybe your liver and gallbladder system is not completely used to the amount of fat.
Yeah, I had to back off on the fat, and I don't have a gallbladder. I had to back off on the fat initially, and then ease back into it, and that definitely helped.
All right. Renee says, hello, I won one of the Healing Humanity shirts a few weeks ago, and my husband loves it. We got the light blue. Thank you. Can't wait to order the new shirt. We appreciate it. Now, if you don't win the shirt tonight with your best question, you can order it. There's a link in the description below for our merch. I got to shout out my buddy Adam, who designed this awesome new Healing Humanity shirt that I don't know if we're selling out quite, but they're going nuts. Like, a lot of people are ordering these shirts and they really like it. So every penny from these goes towards the documentary. Link in the description below. It's a great way to support our project if you want to donate and get something cool in return and represent Healing Humanity. So thank you, Renee.
You've been wearing that shirt for what, 2 weeks straight now, I think?
Yeah, I'm gonna need a new one. It's getting a little stinky.
And every time I see you, you're wearing it. I'm wondering if the washing machine needs to be involved.
Carnivores don't stink. He's all
Carnivores
right.
don't stink. John Waters, 90 days on Carnivore, down 34 pounds, but can't seem to get any further. Not giving up, generally 2 meals a day with intermittent fasting. Any advice for John?
It's not uncommon to have a weight stall when you've lost that much weight that quickly. Your body often kind of settles in and needs a little bit of a break. I would be curious to know how long the weight stall has been, because if it hasn't been very long, it'll probably pick up again. But you can definitely kind of play around with your macros and maybe try OMAD, a few days a week. Try varying your fat percentage, try varying your calories. Just, let your body know, keep it guessing. Because if it's your body's used to a certain way of eating now for 90 days, our bodies want to settle in and to find a new set point. So you just have to keep it guessing.
That's almost 12 pounds. That's almost 12 pounds per month.
That's a lot.
That's not a little, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So
Right.
Those are always hard too, because we don't know the total weight loss that person was looking for. Was it only 40 pounds and they've lost 34?
Right.
So
Right.
when you get down to the lower end of how much you need to lose, it definitely slows down quite a bit. So.
Oh yeah, but also it's not going to be like a straight downward curve. So,
it's not a straight line.
Yeah, just so psychologically stay the course, and it's important to bring the questions to these types of live streams so that you can stay engaged with the community, because so many people have experienced the same thing. And so it's definitely very, very common and very normal.
Tarzan, you guys are awesome. Oh, thank you.
You are.
Love the name.
Tarzan. Well done.
Here's a tough question from James. I am homeless. I have no power to store food. It's a struggle working 10-hour shifts and come cook outside. It's hard that I can't meal prep. Any suggestions on this situation?
Do not ignore things like canned sardines, which don't require any cooking, and it's like $1.20 or something like that at Walmart. By the way, the Walmart sardines, their brand with water, with skin and bones, it's probably the best value out there. You don't have to buy any fancy sardines. Most of the other sardines, they try to sell them to you because they're skinless and they're boneless. Are you kidding? That's part of the nutrition.
Yeah, there's other canned meats too, and a lot of these gas stations, they actually have all beef franks. I mean, they're not necessarily going to be perfect, but they have, on the little spinning wheels, they have the all beef franks that are available to purchase without a bun. And I don't know if there's something close by that you can do that too. I know people who, when they can't afford anything, that's what they do, and it works out. They stay carnivore that way.
Yeah, first off, I want to commend you, James, for being in the situation that you're in and wanting to actually go this route, because it can be quite challenging. One thing I might suggest is, if possible, you can, if you're able to have access to, maybe on a day off or something, to go to someone's house or borrow someone's kitchen to prepare some pemmican or carnivore bars. Those are shelf stable for years
A
and
long
years and
time,
years.
yeah.
So if you can batch make those don't need to be refrigerated, and you can keep them in a jar or a bag or something similar. But yeah, that would be, I'd probably be the closest thing that I could suggest that could be stored long term and not need to refrigerate or anything.
It's a good suggestion. One other commenter in the comment set, it was from SOS. I've never heard or watched this channel before, but recommended watching Steve Stealth, who's a carnivore who does a lot of outdoor camping and videos of just like cooking, outdoors and picnic table with a knife, ice chest, and that's about it, kind of thing. So I thought that was a cool suggestion of him as well. I haven't watched that channel though.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. So Tony Engelke, Random Adventures 2.0 YouTube channel. He actually does the stealth camping, and he's carnivore too. So maybe check out his YouTube channel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Those are some good suggestions. That's a really tough situation. I commend you as well, James. The only thing that came to my mind, and this probably isn't a good idea, but if you have access to purchase eggs from someone, like farm fresh eggs, you don't have to refrigerate those if you get them farm fresh. That was something I didn't really know. When we were in the UK, I was looking for eggs all over and I couldn't find them because I was looking in the refrigerator section and they were just in the shelf in the middle. So
yeah,
I remember that.
You just have to
We
wash
couldn't find them
before
anywhere.
you cook them. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't cook them without washing them.
Yeah, wash them before you cook them. But
But as I understand that, nowhere in Europe they put it in the refrigerators. In all the countries, they are just outside. They do not wash them before they package them.
Right.
So yeah, you should, when you're gonna use them at the moment, that's when you would then wash them.
Yeah.
Right. All right. We have a question from PR64. Has anyone tried supplementing quercetin for histamine allergy problems?
Yes, I have, and it does help. It is a natural mast cell stabilizer.
All right. And SOS said, I recently learned there's progesterone and estrogen in the dairy. Could it be the ladies are craving that to address declining hormones, pre-post menopause, aka self-medicating?
No. Yeah, I don't know. Dr. Nelson, any thoughts on that one?
This is a hotly debated issue, and even the experts have different opinions on hormone replacement and menopause and all this thing. I don't know how much there is in milk. Is there a chance that there is significant amounts that are bothering you? Yeah. But menopause is a normal thing that happens to women, and opinions are divided whether you should go on hormonal replacement until you die or not. I guess you have to make your own decision regarding the purposefully using hormone replacement to address certain symptoms.
Yeah. And craving dairy is not uncommon. I mean, dairy is, well, delicious, first of all,
Mhm.
but it's not uncommon to crave dairy. I know there's milk sugars in dairy, and you know, it's definitely easy to crave it.
All right, we got a question from Mike, the Carnivore Bigfoot. Why would electrolytes, keto chow drop, start giving me headaches? P.S. If I lose 12.5 pounds by October 6th, I will have lost 400 pounds in 2 years.
Ooh,
Wow.
Wednesday, the weight was 335.7.
unbelievable.
Amazing. Mike the Carnivore, I saw that comment earlier, and that's incredible. Good for you, buddy.
Wow.
As far as answering your question, I don't know, unless maybe it's what we kind of talked about before. Maybe back off the electrolytes a little bit.
Yeah, do a test and see if it is truly is the drops. And like Ashley said, you know, maybe back off of it or stop it for a while and see if the headaches go away. And if they do, maybe you've already done that. Maybe that's how you know that it's the keto chow. So I don't know what all specifically, Dr. Nelson, are you familiar with what all the composition of keto chow is and what could possibly contribute to headaches?
I'm not sure. Does it have any sweetener in it?
I don't believe it does.
Okay, it's just the electrolytes.
It's the electrolytes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would certainly try going without it you can do it for a week or a month and see how you do. Before, one of the first questions was the electrolytes. I have used many of the ones that are available. I just use salt and take magnesium separately. So the most important electrolytes like LMNT or Element has basically sodium, potassium, and magnesium, right? And because those three are the most important ones, there's a bunch of other minerals that are important in our functioning. But regarding the supplementation of electrolytes, when you talk about electrolytes, those are the main ones we're talking about. I use salt. I do take magnesium. Don't know why those particular ones. I know Keto Chow makes an effort to have very clean ingredients. So
yeah. Now, I don't know if Mike has, like, when you have the headache, do you check your blood pressure to make sure that you're not dealing with hypertension that might be causing you to have a headache? And there may be something, you know, about the electrolyte drops that are causing your blood pressure to go up. So it's a matter of, you know, being your own experiment and kind of researching, figuring out. But I would be really inclined to check your vitals when you have the headache and see.
And being carnivore 2 years, I don't know if this is a new thing or has always been like that also. Doesn't say.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Mike, though. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I was just looking. I'm subscribed to Mike on YouTube. Mike's got a YouTube channel as well. And he said, sometimes it's hard financially to continue healing, but Carnivore has saved my life. It might save yours too. Special thanks to Dr. Ken Berry and Bill Knott in Alaska. Awesome.
I want to make a comment here because it may think it's more expensive when you look objectively at just the prices of the meat you're buying. But when I was not carnivore and I would stop at the convenience stores because I had to put gas, and I went in and I could literally come with $20 or $25 of junk out of the store, and that could happen twice a day. When you take everything into account, there is no way it's more expensive than eating junk food.
Yeah, I'm with you. When you do that honest math. I just saw another comment flash by for the earlier question. Someone suggested summer sausage as well for if you don't have any way to refrigerate.
Yeah.
Aaliyah English, Dr. Nelson, how do you feel about 48-hour rolling fasts? Like you don't for 2 days, then you eat, then you do another 2 days for a week or more.
All I can say, I've never tried it myself. I think that you can try it and see how you feel. You have to be careful on how you feel when you're doing that. If it's putting too much stress on your body, if you're having symptoms. By the way, Aaliyah is great. A great young lady. Subscribe to her channels. She's on Instagram and TikTok usually.
Is she like 16-year-old carnivore?
She is 16, yes.
Nice.
All right, we have a super chat. Not that Anna. Question. Thank you so much for the super chat, by the way. Every penny goes towards the documentary. They are doing tests to see if my 21-year-old daughter has POTS. Does anyone have experience or heard of carnivore helping?
I mean, I have a form of POTS, and I definitely have, my carnivore friends that have POTS. It is challenging to address the POTS. You definitely need to have a lot more sodium. I mean, my doctor told me at least 7 grams of sodium a day. Dr. Nelson, what are your thoughts on this one?
You're absolutely right, Lynn. I agree with this. I agree with you. Of course, and it could be histamine issues, among other things. There are other reasons for POTS.
I would look into MCAS, look into EDS as well, because very often it's this, they call it an unholy triad. Many people who have POTS also have MCAS and also have Ehlers-Danlos. And so I would absolutely recommend low histamine carnivore, probably a lion diet, but you got to get the sodium. But, talk to the doctor about mast cell activation syndrome and EDS as well. Because if she gets one diagnosis, she may have the other 2 as well.
All right.
And it could be something transitory. It might not be the typical chronic POT situation, because I've gone through periods where I did get tachycardia, standing up, and it got better with making sure I was using enough salt.
All right. Carnivore Today said need support or on your carnivore journey, join our carnivore community. Use code LIFE925 for half off your first month. HealingHumanity.life. Promo code in the description below. And
who's that guy? Get him off of there.
Right,
Who is that?
spamming the chats. All right. We're going to give away a Healing Humanity shirt in color blue. Here we go.
No sound effects.
No sound effects tonight.
Okay.
All right. Drum roll. The winner of a Healing Humanity shirt in color blue is Coach Juliet Edens. Congratulations. How did Coach Juliet claim their prize, Adam?
Well, Carrie, Coach Juliet Edens can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway, fill out the form, and Ashley will send you a shirt promptly. Congratulations.
Congratulations. All right, we're going to do another giveaway, and this will be for a 30-day free membership to healinghumanity.life. So if you have any additional questions, post them with #life. 30 days free on our membership site. We do multiple Zoom calls. We're a community for you on a path to healing. We had Dr. Sam High on yesterday. We had Dr. Seafried on not too long before that. And we do multiple Zoom calls, including our Breaking Addictions calls, community, our Inspire Together call on Thursday, Carnivore Q&A on Tuesday. So if you need more help on your journey, join us. Use promo code LIFE925.
Who's that lady in that purple shirt?
I don't know. Who was that?
Yeah.
Can we zoom in on that? Unrecognizable.
Lynn, don't you have a story about that where you were somewhat unrecognizable?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I do. So from our trip to Tennessee just a few weeks ago. At the SeaTac airport, they have the new things where they like to scan your bag, but now they want you to put your ID into this scanner, and then it wants to look at your face just to make sure you are who you say you are. And they don't want your passport. They want your driver's license. So my driver's license is from, I don't know, maybe 2015 or something like that. So I put my driver's license in there, and it looked at my face and it said, cannot verify ID. And so it wouldn't take my bag. And so the lady that was the attendant there came, and I told her what was going on. And I told her, I said, I've lost a lot of weight. And she goes, well, try removing your glasses, because my photo didn't have glasses. So I did. Still, it did not recognize me. So she had to manually override it so that it would take my bag.
I love that.
So great.
John Waters said, any helper suggestions on plateaus? And is it a normal phase or possibly related to my insulin normalizing so my body is now efficient?
I know we talked about this before, and it can absolutely be a very normal. I would, again, I would say, if you don't necessarily change anything if it's brand new. Kind of watch it and see what happens. But if you have an ongoing plateau and you know that you have more weight to lose, then you got to start mixing things up with your macros. Maybe incorporate some fasting, like Dr. Nelson was saying, and you get your body to quit being so settled into what it's used to you consuming. And you can, I don't know if you're exercising or not, but I know I've been working on trying to exercise. I always gain weight when I travel, so it's so frustrating. But I've been working with Coach Lisa, trying to get some more exercise, get in that fat burning zone, and just kind of get your body, kind of shock your body into doing something different.
Interesting. You mentioned you gain weight when you travel. I lose weight when I travel.
Oh, what's your trick?
Probably
He runs really fast.
He's fasting.
Probably I'm being more strict while traveling than I am at home. I don't know. That might be a reason.
I just think I have my theory that with my immune system disease, my body's sensitive, even just to normal, happy, good stressors, and so I'm thinking that just might be the way my body reacts. It's frustrating. I thought it might be because I was allowing myself to eat cheese when I traveled. So this past trip, I didn't eat any cheese and I still gained 4 pounds. So.
Aaliyah said, how do you feel about carnivore babies or teens? Dr. Nelson already knows my story.
Like I said, I already said, she's a wonderful young lady, and you all have kids. Maybe some of you, well, I know Carrie has had the experience at home with young people being carnivore and off of carnivore. I have no problem with anyone, whether it's a baby or growing child, because the main thing that they need to grow is protein and fat. Most kids are metabolically healthy, but very quickly they may not be eating all the junk food. So those who are metabolically healthy, they can probably tolerate a little bit of fruit here, there, some vegetables. They don't have to be strict carnivores, but it all depends, even on the child. But I think is the best way to eat.
Yeah. And when we look at how the high-fat carnivore diet helps people who have mental illness, or like Adam, who had a traumatic brain injury, or people who have neurological illnesses, and how it heals them, to have a baby in ketosis to help support that developing brain, I don't see how you could go wrong with that.
I was wondering where you were going with that. You said my name and then baby. Like, what's going on? Okay. Got it.
I think one of the most telltale signs are some of those videos that you've seen online where the babies are trying vegetables versus meat.
And they spit it out.
I mean, it's the reactions are priceless, right? But that's what's natural. What is natural?
And even though small kids are not dogs, I have seen similar situation with dogs not wanting vegetables.
Right.
Yep.
And
Well,
hormonally, when you're a teenager and your body is changing and developing into adulthood and your hormones are changing, just to have that good support, nutritional support for that. If I had that as a teen, I probably would not have developed PCOS. I probably would have, I'm not going to regret having my adopted kids, but, I probably wouldn't have had infertility.
Yeah. Well, with the babies and spitting the broccoli out, I always like to consider too that there's really not many instincts that babies have, like spitting broccoli out, that are incorrect. So, and then on the teen side, just having a bunch of carnivore teens in the house, I'll just say it's awesome. It's so much better than before.
Hormones are a little more balanced.
Yeah, it's a lot more zen. There was so much drama and arguing and fighting before. It's a lot better. I don't know. Some of us, myself, I imagine, what if I was a baby eating carnivores from that point to now? How different would my life be?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to know for sure, but I think it would be probably a lot different. All right. We have another question here from Dama. Hashtag ribeye. So can we have too much quality salt, i.e. Redmond's, etc.? What would cause issues with having too much salt?
By the way, that's Dama Católica.
Sir, yes, sir.
So, anyways, you might be able to tell yourself when you have had too much salt. So salt to taste is the rule of thumb, right? And each one might be different. There could be problems when you have too much salt or not enough fluid, but too much fluid. It's always a balance. The water portion that comes with the salt is also important. You shouldn't try to be drinking, 10 gallons of water a day.
Mm-hmm.
So probably the same situation. You shouldn't try to be consuming a lot. Lynn mentioned 7,000 milligrams or 7 grams of salt. And probably between 5 and 7 is the number where we should be all having that amount of salt. But not everybody, some people feel better with lower amounts. I don't know if anyone has higher amounts, although I believe David Feldman has an incredibly high amount of salt. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
I think I heard that.
Yeah. And I know Adam ended up with digestive issues and felt better with less salt. So I think it's very individual. There's some people I know, like Bella from Steak and Better Gal, doesn't do salt. She feels better off salt. The majority of the carnivores I know do fine with as much salt as they want, but there are definitely exceptions.
Yeah, and I remember seeing a Dr. Berry video early on about sodium, and I know Carrie and I both experienced this on our blood work when we're looking at all the salt intake we have, and our sodium levels are perfectly in line, but I'm eating so much more salt. But his advice, and that was just, if you're having a lot of extra salt, that your body naturally, if it's working properly, will just excrete it through the urine. I mean, it gets rid of it on its own. So he didn't act like there was a problem, have too much salt. With that said, there's individuals that may have some different experiences with that, but
yeah, it's just something to have on your radar.
Yeah.
If you're having some issues and there's things where you're not necessarily feeling the greatest, you can try cutting back and see if that's the culprit. It may or may not be, but it's worth
I
it.
got a little bit to add to that also. So you can actually, there is some such thing as sodium toxicity. So, and you can actually have so much salt in your system that you can actually die. So there is that, but so I don't think it's really necessarily a matter of if it's can you have too much quality salt? You can have too much of anything. You can have too much water, and that'll kill you.
Yeah.
So it's really just comes down, like Ashley said, it's individually, how do you actually feel with it? And obviously doing blood tests and getting testing done will help you to understand where your markers are and if you're too low or too high, or at least that'll give you some sort of an indication.
Yeah.
You can't have too many ribeyes though. Lynn J. I evidently am doing something wrong. I have asked questions several times for a few weeks and they're not answered. I've been a member since 12/24. I apologize, Lynn J. I'm looking all through the chat here tonight. I don't see any questions. I kind of wish you would have posted your question on this one because I did see this.
Make sure you post it. Carrie will go find it.
I will find it. If you want to post it right now, we'll make sure. Otherwise, you could shoot me an email too, homesteadhow@gmail.com. We'll make sure to get your question answered best we can. We have a super chat from Chris Stearns. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Chris. You're too generous. Adam is doing fine eating carnivore as a growing child. Do something. Thank you all for being here week after week, my friends. Awesome.
Appreciate you, brother.
Chris Stearns is the man.
Chris, you're the best. Oh man, that's funny.
He's so generous.
Yeah, too generous. Thank you, Chris. We really appreciate it. All right, we have another question here.
Going back to that, it's because Chris said it before while you get that next question, but Chris said it before, and I appreciated his attitude on it. But he says he's generous because he could be spending money and used to be spending money on a lot of other things that definitely weren't as favorable. So, that every one of those donations go to the documentary. So it's mighty kind of you, sir.
We appreciate it.
Unless you put a super chat in on Ashley's channel, and then he'll gladly take that and go buy some ribeyes.
I was going to say, Chris, that's a lot of sardine money you just gave us there.
That's right.
A lot of bait.
Susan asks, Lynn, I have Ehlers-Danlos. Should I try the lion diet?
I would say yes, definitely. And, see how you do. I know. And also check out Amy Hosp's channel because she has Ehlers-Danlos. And I think I have a mild version, but she's predominantly Ehlers-Danlos. So that triad of conditions that we both share. And she has definitely experienced a lot of benefit. Now, she does not have to do the lion diet. So, but if you have been carnivore and you are still having dislocations, I would say the next step would be to try the lion diet and see how you do. Make sure you go low histamine. But I know she has experienced very dramatic decrease in her dislocations with her EDS.
All right. And Aaron says, can we only depend on whole chicken meat while following carnivore? Sometimes beef.
You could if you wanted to. However, I think your amount of fat needs to be on the higher side, and chicken is not exactly a fatty meat. But if you're having red meat and having chicken and turkey and fish and have eggs and a variety of things, there are many people who do actually that, and they don't consume as much red meat. But if you cook in tallow and you add butter, you can make up a little bit on the fat side.
Eat the dark meat, but make sure it's good quality chicken, though. A lot of people have problems with chicken. And if you're eating a lot, you may be okay at first, but then you may end up developing some problems because a lot of the chicken is very poor quality. The food that they feed it is bad. The crossbreeding of these breeds that would not normally breed in nature can make a really, unhealthy end product. So you may have to make sure you're getting organic or heirloom chicken, and be aware that if you're eating too much, you may end up starting to not feel good.
Carrie, what's the species appropriate diet for chicken? I saw you bought a giant chicken.
Ribeye. I did a video today. Someone just commented the chicken jumped up on the table and took a big chunk of my beautiful ribeye that I spent hours cooking. Yeah, we got a big chicken coop, and we've been feeding our chickens a proper chicken diet: bugs, grubs, insects, whatever they forage for in the yard, and no grains. And it's been pretty awesome, but it's we're very blessed to do it, and I don't know how sustainable it's going to be long term because it's going to be tricky in Wisconsin winter, and I'm not going to keep letting my chickens eat my ribeyes. So I don't know. We'll figure it out, but it's been good. It's
Go
been good
get
so far.
packages of bugs at the pet store or something.
Yeah,
Look into those crane flies.
yeah.
What do you think about the big, these big club stores? The one I go to, it's the same in all of them, so I'm not gonna mention the name, but they have vegetarian fed chicken, which means they probably fed them wheat, corn, and soy mostly.
Oh yeah, inflammatory foods.
Corn and soy for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
They
crazy.
don't process them the same way. So
It's interesting with the chicken too. My wife Jen just did a video on it. We did a store-bought chicken egg versus a farm egg versus our egg, because the farm eggs is incredible, right? But even a lot of those are still fed grain, and sometimes there's glyphosate on there, and sometimes people will eat those eggs and get inflammation and get issues like that. A lot, you can buy eggs too where they don't have any soy, so there's like lots of different options, but there's always almost something in them, unless you're crazy like we are and just give them a proper chicken diet, which is
I hear so often about people feeling better on beef than on chicken or pork.
Yeah, that's the case for me for sure. Noticeably better. All right, we have a question from Rhonda. Does carnivore have skin shrink and not need surgery? Does it help skin shrink so you won't need surgery?
Not necessarily, but it can. I think a lot of that has to do with your individual, what you do. And some of it might be just you individually and your age and how much weight you have lost, but fasting can help. I know Coach Lisa has shared with me her before and after skin photos, and the exercise that she does has made a big difference for her without surgery. She has shown me her pictures. Shocking how much better her skin is. And, she's so fit, but she's had a ton of kids. So, and I've lost a lot of weight, and I feel like my skin is better than I anticipated. But I put tallow on it, which hopefully helps.
Jolene asks, to lose weight, should you keep fat under 60%?
It varies for me. So when I hit a stall, I will drop my fat percentage for a while, and it does seem to help. But I can't say that it's consistent that I have to do that. I mean, there's a lot of people who lose weight on a lot higher fat. So I would recommend experimenting, maybe going on like a Chronometer or one of those apps and track and see how you do, and maybe do, I think a better approach is to vary what your macros are. And some days have some fat days where you're maybe at 50-50, and other days where you're up to 80%, and just keep your body guessing. And you may need more low fat days and high fat days, but I think for me, the biggest factor with my weight loss has been to keep mixing things up.
Kimberly asks, so what do you feel about priming? The Steak and Butter Gang and Dr. Tony Hampton are promoting it.
I've never had to do it, so I don't have much experience in that area. I mean, I would always, I'm not a big proponent of forcing yourself to do something. So if it leads to that sort of a situation, then maybe just double check with your physician, check with a carnivore coach or somebody that is more experienced in that area. But it's definitely not, I don't believe it's a sort of a blanket approach for everybody. It's a more of a personalized thing.
Yeah, I have something to add though, because I don't necessarily want to use the term priming. And I know that is definitely a term that's being used, very often. But for someone who's starting the carnivore diet, I would absolutely recommend not restricting. And I think that's where a lot of people will benefit from priming, because so many of us have a mindset of restrictive eating. And just from the decades of being told that calories in, calories out, and that's the way you're going to lose weight, is by restricting your diet. So I not necessarily, I mean, I agree with Adam that I don't know that you need to be forcing yourself. And some people will force themselves to way overeat. And it is a strategy, because you do that for a while and then you just stop and your body can just, kick some weight loss into gear. But I would say if you're starting out, don't restrict. Eat
I
until
agree.
you're satisfied.
Just to add on to that, Lynn, I think that's the priming part of it, when I heard about it, made sense to me in this aspect, that your body has probably been nutrient deficient for a long time. And so just that it's restoring some, some of those nutrients. I don't think it would be a long-term solution for most people,
Right.
of course. And that's where I like to use the terminology, eat till you're comfortably stuffed, and like you said, don't necessarily restrict thinking, oh, I've eaten too much, I'm going to gain weight. When you're eating nutrient dense food like that, not only is it more satiating, but it's replenishing those nutrients that you may be have been lacking for a long time.
Yeah.
So.
And as someone who restricted for decades, I did I'd go on binges and then I'd restrict and I'd have like 800 calories a day, and you get used to not eating. And I wouldn't even, and during those periods, I wouldn't even think about eating. And I think that it's important if you're in that mindset, to do purposeful eating, because you kind of have to actually make sure that you're aware that you need to eat. And so from that perspective, if you want to call it priming, that's great. But I think that can be really beneficial.
But I mean, in her definition, priming is what SBG is doing. And
Right.
that's totally different than what you're talking about.
Right. And and so that's why I don't call it priming. What I'm saying is, but Ashley's absolutely correct. You're getting yourself those nutrients that you've been deprived of, and also getting your mindset out of restricting.
So in terms of the question, is it necessary? No, it's not. It's another tool. And Lynn has, even today, but multiple times have talked about confusing your body a little bit when you're hitting a stall and not eating constantly the same amount of everything the same day, because your body gets used to it. So it is another technique. You can do it. It's meant to be done for I believe it's 2 weeks what they recommend, and then you start decreasing the amount. But is it necessary? No.
Yeah. I would never tell someone not to try it if they want to try it. I mean, we're all about freedom. You got to figure out what's going to work for you. And if you want to try priming, then try priming. Absolutely.
Yeah. Many people here that I know for a fact they have tried it. Mm-hmm. So maybe
I've never done it.
Yeah.
All right.
But I have had times where I've had to remind myself that I need to eat more.
Good stuff. Great questions tonight. We really appreciate it. If we didn't get your questions,
did Lynn, who needed to ask the question, get a question in there?
Let me see. Maybe there is one here. Lynn J, over 2 years carnivore, 21 days, many issues, but biggest why is numb hands for over 2 years with much pain and discomfort.
I would wonder if you're eating enough fat. So definitely please, and come back. I know that we're getting to the top of the hour, but come back next time and really prioritize getting in early and getting a question in there, and give us some more information, because did the numbness of your hands, when did it start? Has it been going on? Was it before you became carnivore and you're not seeing any improvement? Have you been doing high fat carnivore? Do you have, give us some more information. Do you have a neck injury? What's going on? Anything else you would want to know, Dr. Nelson?
Well, you mentioned neck injury. You're talking about basically having some pinched nerve causing the numbness and tingling, the pain. I mean, we could talk about carpal tunnel syndrome. Maybe you're developing an autoimmune condition. It can happen. Even if you're carnivore, doesn't mean you couldn't have anything else.
Oh, she
right?
did say 21 days. Many issues. Okay.
Yeah, but she's been carnivore, keto for over two years and 21 days carnivore.
21 days carnivore. Okay, so I was thinking she was
That's
saying
what
she's had issues for 21 days, but she's been carnivore for 21 days. So you got to
Yeah.
give it time for sure.
Yeah.
Lynn,
So,
one thing I'd say real quick is feel free to shoot me an email too, because I know you've been trying to get some questions answered for a while. Maybe send some more details in the email, and we can try to get back to you and get you a more thorough answer, because I think we're going to have some more questions to ask you.
Yeah,
order to
you
help
can
you.
copy me on the email too, Lynn at healinghumanity.movie, because I often like to, and I have people email me, I often like to ask more questions and do more assessment to gather more information, because we can give a much better answer when we can actually get more information about what the history is and what's going on.
All right.
And then
So
we can
how
always shoot it over to Dr. Nelson once we gather all the information if we need his help.
Yeah.
so you guys have a lot of Zoom calls, and many of them will be appropriate for her to go and
Yeah.
ask them there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You can join. We've got, hopefully you can win a drawing, but you can, use the coupon code if you're not a member of Healing Humanity Life, and you can get on the Zoom calls, and then we can actually talk face to face, and we can really drill down and try to give you some suggestions. And we have doctors that come on all the time too.
All right. We're going to do a drawing for the 30-day free membership for healinghumanity.life. Here we go. Chris at Not Another Carnivore. Congratulations. Adam, how can Chris claim his prize?
Well, Carrie, Chris can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway, fill out the form, and Lynn will send you your coupon code promptly. Congratulations.
And I love the name at Not Another Carnivore.
I was thinking the same thing.
Love it. Good stuff. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, everyone, for your questions. Adam, Lynn, Dr. Nelson, Ashley, do you guys have anything coming up? Anything you want to shout out before we wrap up?
Much love to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Healing Humanity coupon code for Meat Stock 2026. So make sure that you check that out. And I don't know, the coupon code's still going for Hack Your Health, Carrie?
I believe it's still active. Yes.
Okay. So it's HH Life with Hack Your Health. So that's all I got.
And what is that? $100 off?
I think so.
Is it 100? Yeah, it's
150.
100. It's 100. Yeah, 100 for Hack Your Health and $50 off for Meat Stock.
Yeah. I want to give a quick shout out to there's some faithful people. They know who they are probably in the comments, but I love the fact that we can't always get to all the questions and everything that's in there. And they're also do a great job of answering those questions in the chat consistently. And there's some good warriors in there that help with a lot of that. So thank you guys for staying in the chat and keeping the community rocking.
Yeah. And one thing I want to say too is that, Ashley, myself, Adam, Carrie, we're all on the Healing Humanity team. We thank Dr. Nelson for being here. But those of us, the four of us who are on the Healing Humanity team, our email addresses are just our first name at healinghumanity.movie. So if you want to reach out further, it's really easy to get an email shout out to any of us.
Absolutely. Dr. Nelson, anything coming up you want to shout out before we wrap up?
No, just Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Kilt's live streams on YouTube, also Tuesdays and Thursdays, 3 p.m. We had another wonderful story today with Dom, and we're having more tiers on Kilt's Mighty Tribe, where we'll have more Zoom calls to answer questions like this lady had. So we're having 3 of those every week, starting in October. Sorry.
Yeah. There's a lot of good groups out there. So find the one that you resonate with, whether it be us, Kilts, wherever, find a community.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate all the questions. And if we didn't get to yours and you don't join the community and you want to ask next week, we'll be doing this again Thursday at 6:00 Central. And just a quick tip, if you can get on there earlier, do it, because the first 10 minutes, we hardly had any questions. And the last 10 minutes, we had all the questions. So we can never get to them all.
Now, Carrie, can people, before we even start, put a question in the comments that'll be there when we see it?
Yeah,
Yep.
put it in there ahead of time. Yeah, as soon as you
can.
see it pop on. Good.
Yeah,
Good
as soon
tip.
as you see that that's scheduled, go put your question in there.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. We'll see you on the next one.
All right.
Have a
Good
good
night,
night.
everyone.